it's only a dream. Nothing is really what it seems anyway. Now little by little, in the twilight's gentle flow, in the dance of fading light we grow. And all the warnings, when you wanna be loved by everyone, you get fooled by anyone so easily. I'm lost. You say it's tired, so am I. But without you, I'm lost. I'm lost. Yeah, we can walk on water while the boats are leaking. Soon the walls will be giving in. Anytime now, anytime now. Another shrug of the shoulders. I guess I'll be walking home in the rain. I lost you, but then you were mine again. Just like the wind and the fire, wind and fire. We forget about everything, every truly remarkable thing. No wonder we lost. Go figure, contact. You say it's tired, so am I. But without you, I'm lost, so lost.
And here with Service Six Sigma, we are in fact here early. You are joining our live stream early to watch our pre-reels that we have on our live stream. We play this for about 10 minutes and then we will start our show at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.
And what you learn really fast as you get older, and some of you are getting older, is that time goes by a lot faster, right? My kids, when I first started my business, my 15-year-old now was, 12 or 3 years old. And over time they get older and you don't realize that you only have so much time with your kids. And, I seen this statistic not too long ago. By the time your kid turns 18 years old, they are already, you only have 10% left of them from the 18 on. And so you get 90% of your time with your kids within the first 18 years. And, I seen another a thing when you start putting dots on the board of every week. And when you're at 16 years old or 15 years old, you don't get to see your kids much anymore. And so as I'm a big family man. And so I am big on, what are you doing for your family? Now, when I was running my pressure washing business and, I was a full-time fireman at the time and I was working 100 hours a week. I was working 56 hours at the firehouse, and I was working 40 hours, 45 hours on the business because we had 4 trucks running. And whenever you start getting to growth method, things break down and you're not always there. And so after I sold the business, I really came to the realization of, you only got so much time to spend with your kids. You only got so much time to spend with your family. And it is important that you do that.
Back in June of 2001, someone left me unconscious on the side of the road in a hit and run motor wreck. I lost my career in IT. I lost my savings. I lost a photographic memory. I was messed up. Fast forward a little ways to July of 2002. I have an eviction notice from our apartment. I have turned my BMW into the bank. I'm waiting on Italy to make parts for my Ducati. I am 2 weeks out of a full shoulder surgery. I'm in an isolation brace, a neck brace, and a morphine pump surgically implanted in my shoulder. I call up one of my buddies and I say, "Hey, will you come over and shake my couch out for me?" He laughs. He comes over. He shakes my couch out. I grab all of the change off the floor and ask him to run me to a dollar store. I buy a bottle of awesome window cleaner, the cheap stuff, and a roll of paper towels. I also buy an empty squirt bottle so I can water down the LA Awesome window cleaner. The next day, I shove my sling just full of paper towels, and I hook the bottle of window cleaner on my belt hoop, and I start walking down the road, going business to business, just simply stating, "Hello, my name's Brian. I'm poor, I'm hungry. I'd really like to eat tonight. May I clean your windows?"
Want to hear more of Poor Man Brian's story? Visit www.service6sigma.com to hear his full story. We also have many more great podcast videos to hear from as well. If you want to be part of our future podcasts, please message Ben Bergloff or Perry Tate on Facebook. Thank you. We have many guests that we have on our show. Be part of a growing community of guest speakers and share your professional insight in the mobile service industry. Welcome to a free live stream built around 6 sectors. This live stream created for mobile service professionals. We would like to introduce you to your hosts, Ben Bergloff and Perry Tate. Welcome to Service Six Sigma, your live stream for mobile service professionals.
Boom, and we are live. Woohoo! And we have with us today our super special guest is Keith Kelfas. But first, I'm just going to quickly explain Service Six Sigma. Keith, hey, Service Six Sigma is a project of live stream podcasts, which are also available in all the podcast areas to listen to while you're working. And the service part is for the whole of the service industry. Like, we want to have people from landscaping, which obviously Keith is also from landscaping, so that's cool. Our sort of core industries, window cleaning, pressure washing, exterior services. But we're also going to get guys in out who are electricians and arborists or carpet cleaners, all that sort of thing, just to learn and share from the different industries and pick out the gems, the nuggets of gold. The Six Sigma part is, Six Sigma is actually a business term. It's the process of eliminating errors that can happen in a business. So you've got to, as an entrepreneur, you're always going to expect the unexpected, and we want to eliminate those by introducing systems and processes to avoid them in the future, and that's the Six Sigma. So the airline industry should be Six Sigma, the nuclear industry should be Six Sigma. That's when you've actually made it. So the Six Sigma is, we trying to treat it as a process. Then what we've done to make it easy for us and for you to understand, we've broken your business down into 6 sectors. So the 6 sectors are the journey of the business. You have to attract a customer. So that's your social media influencer. A lot of what we're going to be talking today with Keith about will be in this area, I'm sure. And then the convert, which is your sales process. And it could be online, could be in person, could be over the phone with Google Earth, all those kinds of things. Then we have to deliver the service to the person that we've converted, which is the D for deliver, which is your tools and techniques, on-site safety, route management, all this kind of stuff around actually giving the customer an amazing experience. I must talk about the tube one day. Then now that we've got this, we need to control it. So the business gets bigger and bigger, and you need more and more automation. So that's where we talk about CRMs, training regimes, standard operating procedures, all that kind of thing. Once you've done this, you now have a replicable model of a business. So now you can scale. You can scale by adding other services, like we had yesterday with Denver Klassen, or you can scale by multiplying your business out with multiple vehicles, right, and service vehicles. Having got to there, this is the part where ServiceSixSigma.com comes in, is the giving back, and that's why we have guest speakers like all people who have made it, and then we have some juniors coming in saying, "Help me." But the idea is, that the guys who have made it through all this great journey can give back by sharing some wisdom and nuggets. And today we have the one and only Mr. Keith Kelfas, who is one of my favorite humans on the planet for grit, determination, relentlessness, trials and tribulations, and surviving them all, and popping out the top like a rocket.
What's up, bro? You got me so fired up, I had to jump up and grab my marketing manual because you were talking about frameworks.
That's what we want. Dude, we're going to run this one hot.
Let's get it.
How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me on your show. Thank you, Ben Bergloff. Perry Tate, so nice to hear from you again, bro. You made an impact on my life back in 2015 and 16. Also, my wife, when she was doing her patent with her invention, she's like, Perry Tate, he's an inventor. He has patents. And you sat on the phone with my wife and walked her through part of like some ideas of the patent process. So she says hello, and we're doing very well.
Yeah, great. And I sent her, remember when the COVID came out and there were no masks, and Ashley was going to make masks, and she said, "Can you help me?" And we went and found stuff to make masks off and sent it to her. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, she helped a lot of people, man. Thank you.
That was that's good. No, it's very exciting. I mean, I follow you. You're probably the same as me. I follow you. A lot of people follow everybody very silently, and nobody knows that they're actually watching their lives. But you're one of the people that I check in on, to see that, because you've been through the chaos, haven't you? I mean, now, like we've talked sometimes so deeply, when you were just in chaos. And you weren't giving up. You never gave up, did you?
No, nope, not at all.
But can you remember those days where you had this dream? You had this dream, and the dream never stopped. But you had the dream, and it just wasn't converting. It wasn't materializing as you dreamed.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, I was trying to grow two businesses at once. Like, I made sure I got my landscaping business stable to where I had, customers and clients and paying my bills. And I was so passionate about the social media and sharing with people. And in the winter, I'm in Michigan in the United States. It's freezing winter. We can't do anything landscaping. So I went out, broke. I $50 at the Home Depot. I got a squeegee, some soap, a bucket, and I was knocking and going into storefronts and plazas. I'll clean your windows for 10, 20, anything, dollars. And I built a window cleaning route in the middle of the winter. So when the spring broke, now I'm doing landscaping and window cleaning. And I was so excited that I didn't have to work a dead-end job anymore. I wanted to go all over YouTube and social media and share with people, like, you can start your own business. You can really do this. And just hundreds of thousands of people showed up who were interested in becoming their own boss.
Yeah.
And so now I'm doing my own service business and learning the hard lessons of how to do that, but also learning how to grow a social media business. And it's the saying, if you chase two rabbits, both will escape. So after about 5 years of that, I was burnt down, exhausted.
You were. I mean, I've been there too, so I know exactly what it feels like. I mean, that's why I think I can relate to some of the guys who have been through the journey. There's a point. One guy said to us once, me and Harrison, we were chatting with a guy, and he said, "Look, there's a threshold of pain, which we can call 95%." And he said that it's 95% pain. That's where everybody else gives up, and that's where I keep going. And that's I think that defines the guys who have really started from nothing. And not started running what other people run, started running what doesn't exist. What you did in YouTube, what you did for the industry, didn't exist. You're not copying anybody. I mean, Keith Kelfas is the original.
Dude, thank you so much. That I appreciate what you just said right there. And I, it's funny. I actually, when I started, I was finding guys that had YouTube channels that were making videos here and there. And I was probably, as far as I can articulate, the first guy to go all in and all out and talk about things and share things on social media, especially the inner struggles that
your real life. Yeah.
Yeah. That's most small business owners or self-employed guys would be like terrified to talk about. I came out talking about all those things. And that's why the videos really got so much traction, I believe, is because they were relatable.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to serve. I love to help people.
Oh, you've always had, like, I think that, in some of our podcasts, we've talked about the Angela, JC Chanowski's lady, or the lady who is with JC Chanowski. I don't know how to say it all, but Angela, she's got a business called the Unique Genius.
Unique,
and I love it. I just want that phrase for my own life, is the eccentricity and just being so vulnerably you, which enables you to be uniquely you, which makes you uniquely attractive, because somebody's real. And you came in before being real was fashionable.
Yeah.
Right now it's fashionable. It was a time where everybody was fake it till you make it, show only. I always say, like, there's a full circle of the life, and, there's a line, like a horizon line. And then above the horizon, it's light and beautiful. And below the horizon, it's dark and dirty, and we've all got like dark sides and dark thoughts, It's just, it's the apple, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil in action. You've got, I know how to use this for good, and somehow my brain's delivering me how to use it for bad. And I have to work my way through that. But nobody wants to share the dark side of being a human, trying to make it with an imagination of a dream of what I might be one day, while from a humble and serving heart. So it looks like we're egotistical and crazy and self-opinionated, but actually, if your heart, like 100%, yours always comes across that way. Your heart is to serve others, and then all of a sudden. So I think you were before your time for being real.
Yeah, thank you. And also, so when it comes to social media and technology and the new world that we live in, see, our brains are designed and wired, and especially how we grew up, work hard, get a good, nice, safe, secure job, or if you start a business, you just have to be there every waking hour because we're tying our actions directly to what makes money and results for survival. So like when a customer calls in the window cleaning or power washing, we do landscaping, we can give them a quote right over the phone, sell it, show up, do the job. It's transactional. We get paid. If the customer's happy, we get the referral, get the review, and then we book another appointment. Then we give the neighbor a quote. It's instantly transactional. But when you move into a personal brand, and now you have to make all these videos for free, and you can't tie it to anything tangible that puts actually it increases your bottom line, gives you money in your bank account. It can become frustrating. It could become confusing. And you're like, how long am I supposed to make these free videos before what do you mean I'm supposed to make them forever? What? It's a very confusing territory. And you got all these gurus on social media giving you these different maps, and they're claiming their way to fame and all and then so there are some people who try it and then they just wash their hands with it. I can't even do this. Then there's other people that try and they fail, or I'm not saying that I have the answer, but I've been through those little pitfalls that you talk about. I came home in 2016. Yeah. My wife was crying. She's like, I don't know if I want to be with you because you're crazy. You're making all these videos. You're on the phone with people, giving them free advice. When are you going to spend time with me? And I was like, I just want to help people. It was like, she's like, you need to help us. And I felt guilty. And then because we got like 80 million views online between the downloads of the YouTube channels, the podcasts. I'm talking every single little tiny view we've ever had collectively. Mm-hmm. And I just wrote my 4th book. We've got online courses. The YouTube thing, and also Facebook, and it went nuts. Like we're posting 8 to 12 pieces of content per day, 300 pieces of content per month. We were averaging 4.5 million views a month. Now we're about 1 million views a month. But what it creates is an influx of so many people contacting you and blowing up your DMs and social media, emailing you, getting a hold of your business phone number and calling you from all over the country and all over the world. Hey, I saw your video and I want. So it's like, if you want to build a personal brand online, you have to make a clear decision. Do I want to make videos so I can market my business to my potential customers, to the unique avatar with the messaging ecosystem that gets the local customers and the demographic, geographic, psychographic, and the proper SEO, all leading back to your website, your blog, and your maps, everything to market my business locally, to be not only become not a generalist, not a specialist, but maybe a celebrity business owner in my own service area. And maybe if you want to scale beyond that, do I want to become the celebrity authority, or cut all that aside, do I want to grow a personal brand where now I become what they call a quote unquote influencer, where I start to share my message with the world? Maybe you feel like you have a higher calling and you've done this business thing and you love your business, but maybe you want to start to share your message with the world and even monetize it. Well, are you going to commingle that messaging with your actual business? And like, are your customers going to come and see your professional videos and then see you making a video like giving your dog ice cream, or like playing with your cat, or like working out, all this? Like, you have to get really clear, because there's this Pandora's box. When you put stuff on the internet, it's there on the internet, and now your customers are going to find that. So it's like, you have to be very clear with the search engine optimization and what you say and what you don't say. That's why some people have pen names. They'd be like, oh, this is my entertainment stuff, or this is my coaching and consulting, this is my actual business. And I think that the safe bet is to really just market your actual business, if that's what you're in love with, and then turn it into something that's just a structure. Some people are so emotionally attached to their business that it's very hard for them to figure this out. And I've been through a lot of this stuff, and I've got a lot of coaching, and I've had to really figure this out. If you do make some videos that kind of blow up on social media and get millions of views, and now you have people contacting you from all over the world, not only people wanting free advice, but also people criticizing you, people trolls and haters, and people cutting down everything that you do, and they could have done it better. And then maybe you have brands reaching out to you wanting to, hey, let's do a partnership, let's do a deal. And now you have people throwing money and opportunities, inviting you to speak. Like, it could be so overwhelming that in my own life, I had so many people contacting me that I actually went into kind of like a depression and isolation, where I just couldn't communicate with anybody, because I hadn't developed the skill set to deal. You have to develop a whole new, because like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about, like, you're a Z level celebrity. It's kind of true. If within your industry, if you kind of, it's a very small level of celebrity where you go places and people know how you are. So your ego, if you have never been acknowledged in that way before, you might really like the attention and not know how to calibrate that unconsciously. Several years ago, I was with my wife at a big expo in Kentucky in the United States, thousands of people. It was crazy. I had so many people, because of my videos, that Keith, shaking my hand, just coming up, stopping their cars on the street and wanting to take a picture with me. It was weird. I was so amped up and excited, and I had, my heart was in the right place. I had my wife and my dogs. I had my videographer. I was so excited. I was walking ahead of my wife, just excited. And like 2-3 times, bro, I could cry, because my wife said, you made me feel like I was not important to you, that I shouldn't even have come on this trip. You asshole. You showed me your true colors. And I'm like, no, I was just excited. No. You showed me your true colors.
Yeah.
And I had to really sit down and think about that and say, like, I don't care how excited I am. Nothing comes before God and before my wife, before my family. And so I had to put really hard boundaries in place and say, hey, I love serving people, but within boundaries. There's a limit. My family comes first. And separate your identity and be like, okay, I'm real. This is who I really am. But when we make these videos on social media, we do this on Wednesday nights is the podcast, and Monday is filming day. and then we check in from time to time. But we run a real business. We have a real life, and we really care. But you can't get completely sucked into the vortex of social media, because it can cause divorces. It can cause you to just mess up your business and not pay attention, and it could also make you a sellout. If you get really viral on social media, people like you could be doing so many different sponsorships and you're making money that you just become this person who's selling
Yes.
all the time.
Oh,
So make sure it's stuff that you believe in. But yeah,
yeah. No. It's great. It's great. I was going to share with you just a couple of things. Like, I was also at one point that famous, like where I could go onto an airplane and people would go, Mr. Tate. You know, they knew who I was because I had a direct response television business and in the computing industries in the days of Windows 3.11, and it was a rise and fall. So I was like super famous, and then this one guy said to me, like, rooster 1 minute, feather duster the next. You know, like, you know who your friends are when you become a feather duster, right, bro? But the intention is not to become a feather duster. The intention is to become the rooster. But in the end, at the end of that journey, which I think you'll relate to, pull Keith up as well. And at the end of that journey, I reverted to, because I think what happens is, in order to manage yourself through all of these experiences, there is no roadmap, except you're starting to create a roadmap for other people who want to go this way. The first one is to your own self be true. Now, how can you be true to yourself unless you know yourself? And that's what you just talked about. You have to find yourself. If you haven't found yourself, all of a sudden, what do they say? If you don't plan your life, somebody else will plan it for you. But you can't plan a life that you've never lived before, because you don't know what it is until tomorrow arrives, and all of a sudden, one of your YouTube videos goes viral, and all of a sudden all these phone calls come in. Well, there wasn't a plan for that, because I've never had a viral video before, And then I love what you told me about Ashley pulling you up, because I always say, like, I'm sure I lost the first marriage due to my future orientation, work passion. Well, I wouldn't ever call myself a workaholic, because I just love working and I love talking. I love meeting people. But, I had that same experience too late, and I'd already done the damage, and the marriage failed, for sure. Because she said, you didn't pay any attention to me, And so it's a real, you are lucky she pulled you up. Like, my wife, we were really young, but she didn't pull me up, she just got resentful and hurt, and the damage was irreparable. We tried a lot, and we still can talk and friends and all that now. Kids are all good, so, but I want to say that. So the second part of know yourself, right, to your own self be true, is, your actions determine and show you your priorities. And that's what she was able to do, is talk to you about your actions and showing you they're your priorities. And you go, no, I'm not. And they go, well, if you were, what would you look like? Oh, I would look like I'm walking out in front and leaving you behind. That's how I would look if you were second grade to me, And so, isn't it? So I love, you've really unpacked a whole lot in that soliloquy, which I'm going, wow, this is like incredible.
Yeah.
But it's the journey, right? And somebody wants to be a personal brand and be known, this is the other end of it. What they imagine is not what it is. And that's what you're doing now, is teaching people this is what it's going to be like. And you want to try and put those systems and processes in mentally, emotionally, and relationshiply, so that you get, you achieve it and don't get damaged by it,
Amen.
Over to you.
Absolutely. Everything that
That's
you
my
just
soliloquy.
said. I agree. You learn who you are in dark times. Here's what I've learned. I've learned a lot of things, and I'm very grateful. If you're going through hell, well, keep going.
Yeah.
Don't ever be disrespectful to a client or a customer because you're going through hell. And if you can't pick up the phone in that moment or talk to them, just don't.
Or a supplier. Can I add to supplier, please?
Or a supplier. If you've had a bad day at work and you pull up in your truck or your van, put your phone down and sit there for 5 minutes and leave your phone in the truck. And don't bring that negativity into your home. Your home is supposed to be peaceful. Yeah. And people, I spoke with. I've been reconnecting over the past couple of years with family, extended family. Just I want to know how everybody
Wow.
grew up and my aunts and uncles and what was life like from you growing up? Where did our
Uh-huh.
heritage come from? Oh, we're Czechoslovakian and Greece, but when did they come to America?
Wow.
Like all these things that like so did all these questions. I won't get too deep into it, but I called one family member, and this family member was still upset from the way that they felt treated by people in the family in 1993. That person has not spoken to anybody in the family.
Oh.
And I'm thinking and I'm listening and I'm using curiosity and I'm having what's called the difficult or crucial conversation from a place of empathy and no judgment. And here's what I realized. All of the reasons that someone feels the way they feel in their heart valid, that there's some truth in it. But
Yes.
here's what I learned. People don't remember as much. This is a saying, but it's so true. They don't remember as how much is what you said is how you made them feel, even if it was
I was
30
just gonna.
years.
I was just writing that down to say that, but you're saying it. Yeah.
So sometimes I get these epiphanies when I'm in the shower. I get the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, and he says the reason we have epiphanies while we're in the shower is because you're just in this like thing, like when you're brushing your teeth or you're putting on deodorant, you're just going through the motions and your brain can just open up. I start laughing and giggling when I'm brushing. I'll be brushing my teeth, giggling. My wife's like, "What's so funny?" Because I'm having these beautiful epiphanies that are revelational about life. I realize that when you're so obsessed with success and you want to be somebody so bad, it can become an identity crisis to where now everywhere you go and everything you do, you feel that energy if as if you let it go for a minute and you just be at a family dinner or you just listen to a friend
Yes.
talk about their life
Yes.
or you
Yes.
just at the movies eating popcorn. It's okay to be an average Joe and just be a
We
family member.
are average Joes.
Ooh,
We are. We're never not going to be. It's just your perception of what you're trying to manage. You want other people to see you as, which is a celebrity. But
nobody gives a shit about what you do
no,
for your living and who you are and how much money you make. They don't care if you eat. All they care
no.
about is how you treat them and how you make them feel. And if you look in their eyes and
Yep.
listen to them and say,
Yep.
wow, I'm really sorry that you went through that, or congratulations. Oh man, you
Yeah.
got this. You're gonna so
Yeah.
be the encouraging supporter. It's time to grow up and become the role model, but also become the person who's the statesman who really and I'm struggling with
Yes.
this myself because I wanted to impress my father, right?
Yes.
I want my
Oh my God. Let's go there.
oh, okay. Let's go. I'll go anywhere, bro. I'm down.
You. No, keep going. Keep going. I wanted to
So,
press my father. That's it.
I wanted my father to, man, I'm so proud of you. Good job. Or I want
Yep.
my wife to go, wow, you're such a man. You're so hot. You're
Yes.
these things. And so when I start to question my motives, it's like some of them are almost they need to grow up. It's time to say, you know
Yes.
what? I've achieved my goals and dreams. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I live in a great place. I have everything that I could have ever dreamed of. If you tell me 10 years ago I'd be where my life is today, I would cry
Mm.
because
Even I look at your house, bro. I'm looking at your house and saying, "Wow, that's a beautiful." No, you've upgraded. I think.
this.
Well, it looks better than last time I spoke to you
Oh,
in
this is my
2015.
studio.
Look at this. Look at this. It's I like it. I like it. Oh, there you go. I recognize that. I saw you in there when you got your YouTube award.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Oh, that's
So
good.
I'm excited about the studio. It's my digital man cave.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. Okay, back to Dad. So this is the thing: the management of the perception of others and the desire to impress those who are our mentors or our critics. Like, could be either way. Like I'm for Harrison, I'm his father, but I'm his mentor. I'm not very much. I mean, I'm his critic as well from a mentor point of view. But my father, like, I wanted to impress my father my whole life. He asked me to leave home at 12 years old, and I agreed and sent me to an orphanage and kept my brother and sister. And I
What?
spent, yeah, he lived till 83, and I spent every time I did anything and I spoke to him, I was ringing him up and going, I'm trying to impress him. And he's going, you've said all that before. And yeah, blah. But you know what I mean? He was always negative, never believed in me. He's always my dad, you know, but I still wanted to impress him. And I find that fascinating. You know, that part of the boy inside us still wants to impress dad. Some of our decisions and some of our actions and some of our characteristics are, you know, driven by something as not necessary. I mean, it's real because it happens to nearly every man, I think, you know. And I don't know how women go, whether they want to impress mum or not. I've got no idea. Never had the conversation with anybody.
I want to take this to 40,000 foot view. Imagine that because of these things, you go insane in a good way, insanely productive. You learn the business systems, you learn the EOS method, you read the books, you pay $25,000 to be part of masterminds, you get your visionary integrated relationships, you get the right people on the bus, you do it. You go through the cash flow purgatories and you build and you scale your business, you get everything, and you build a $20 million business. Yeah. You have everything that would have made your dad impressed. It would have made you somebody. And then let's say you have a midlife crisis because something triggers you. And you find out that the motive behind all this, even though it's great, you did it for all the wrong reasons. Yeah. And you're dying inside, you have a breakdown and you can't work. And your business is at the point where it's maybe it can run without you, hopefully. Yeah. If for the sake of all the people that work for you and all the families that are on the line and all the people on payroll that's feeding their kids and putting Christmas presents under the tree and their health insurance, all these people that depend on you because of this vision that they bought into because you, you selfish bastard, saying you did it with the right intentions. You have all this on the line because you selfish, I don't want to say selfish, but you're not God. You're not Christ. Christ came here to teach us not to avoid Roman civil law, but not how to end it, but how to avoid its jurisdiction in this world, but not of this world. And I'm not trying to preach to anybody. But I'm saying
no, but I 100% agree.
Before you fly off and chase some high dream, why not do some inner work? And I'm preaching to the choir. And really, really sit down. There's a saying: most of a man's problems stem from his inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Lock yourself in a room with a notepad and a pen and do not come out until you know your life's purpose, mission, and mandate. And my friend Myron Golden, he said, the point of life is to figure out God's purpose for your life, develop yourself for that purpose, and then deploy yourself into that purpose so you can live out your highest purpose. What is your purpose? And if your purpose doesn't make money, maybe it's giving, then maybe if you're very conscious about your business just being a structure that serves people and flows cash to funnel into the purpose, and you're not so emotionally and misidentified with the business to the point where it's hijacked you and you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If it's just a business to make money, at least you're conscious about it. Like, I'm waking up to these things because I didn't want to grow a multi-million-dollar landscaping business or a window cleaning business, and I was insecure about that. And I had imposter syndrome because people on the internet were saying, listen to this Keith guy. He writes these books, Window Cleaning Blueprint. This is actually a good book. And I just wrote my 4th book, and I'm obsessed with helping people start up and build their independence to start their businesses.
0 to 1. I love 0 to 1. Yep.
They say, why should I listen to this guy? And I was like, you're right. I don't have a multi-million-dollar business, but I don't want to grow one. I don't want to, because I knew it would be for the wrong reasons because I hadn't done the inner work yet and found my purpose. And when I found my purpose and I stuck on it, it was really, really hard because I felt like the world was crashing in on me. It was like I looked like I was a crazy person, and I stuck with it. The lesson is, when you stick with what your purpose is, you might have to still do your day job or your day business, and it might be your purpose. But if your heart's in the right place, you can eventually make it work and it can take off. And you will find yourself in a whole new world where you go, oh my gosh, if I would have quit or veered off of my purpose just so I can make money or because I was scared. I mean, if you do only live once, it would be a terrifying thing to become extremely financially successful, which is only one piece of the pie, and nobody gives a shit how much money you make, and fail and totally miss God's will for your life, miss your real purpose, and then lie there like Tolstoy on his deathbed saying, what if my whole life has been wrong? And you can't go back. So I'm obsessed with these things, bro. We have
Well, I'll
identity
tell you.
crisis.
I'll tell you. I've got some thoughts on this because, firstly, we learn. Because people are going to listen to us and they may apply it to the here and now. And I think that it's really important that what we're talking about is a journey. Life is a journey. The people who set a destination and arrive at the destination are rarely happy. The destination may have been to impress others and the others aren't impressed because they never wanted to see that. They wanted to know you and spend time with you or whatever. But the journey, on the way and through the journey, we have these epiphanies and we have these realizations. Some of them come from failure. Some of them come in the shower, right? The different sources that are being channeled to you, and different channels you leave open at certain times to receive guidance, But the thing is that so when I was really religious when I was younger, and when I was religious, I had a big stereo before that, and then I was listening to all the music of the day. This is the 1980s maybe, and all of a sudden I felt that the music was not part of my life, right? And I had other young people in the church, and they were still listening to that music, and people were saying to me, the older people were saying to me, you see it, right? You need to go and tell them to stop listening to the music because you've got this thing. I don't believe in the message to not listen to the music so much, so I'm not trying to say anything about that. But what I learned from that is I defended and I said, no, I got told to stop listening to the music in the time that's right for me, And so that's when sometimes Harrison has with his friends, he has events that happen to him, and he's already been through that event and he knows the answer. And he wants to say, I don't know why he can't get what I got. And I said, you didn't get what you got until it was the right time to get it, So anybody listening to us about, the purpose and not having a purpose or not knowing what your purpose is, the most important thing, is definitely to take the time aside to think about it. But if it doesn't come, or if you do fail, or if it's not going the way you intended or planned or thought or imagined or heard, that's okay too. Everything has a time as long as you stick to the plan. The plan can include failure. Failure is a result. It's not a pleasant one, but it's a result. And if you want to be wise, you have to. I don't know if you ever read the book Siddhartha, but Siddhartha talks about it very clearly in a life story way. You have to have experienced the dark side of life. You can't be wise because when somebody's in a dark moment, if you have never had a dark moment like this, if you're a silver spoon trust baby, always had money, always had, servants, always could buy anything you want, you've had all this, and then you meet somebody who's poor, you can't relate to them. But if you've been poor, oh, dude, and that's what I think is beautiful. I like your life journey because it had the chaos in it, And then we relate. Then we can coach. Then we can write books. Then we can encourage people from wherever they are. Yeah.
A true practitioner. Yeah. And smart is knowing what to do. Wisdom is knowing what not to do. So I can go back in my head right now and think of thousands of landscaping and window cleaning jobs, most of which went smooth, but the ones that didn't go smooth, where I felt like I was, you're at your wit's end because you got customers and clients and employees and bills due and family drama and all these things going on at once. Plus you're trying to make sure you get proper sleep, but you haven't slept properly in weeks. And when you're drawn all the way out to the edge of the pirate's plank and the pirate's sticking you in the back, who are you in those moments? Because when the chips are down and I feel like I've been separated every fiber down to the molecule with the magnifying glass and to see what I'm made of. Even in the darkest, hardest times, I had this old crazy boss once when I had a job, and I watched him go nuts and start punching his steering wheel, screaming. I'm like, this guy has a mental illness. I got to get away from him. Why does he do this? It can't be that bad. 5 years later, when I had I had in front of an employee, everything was falling apart at once. My wife was mad at me. It was just like I could deal with one thing, two thing, three things, but it's four things that all hit within the same hour.
Yep.
I-
Yeah.
I'm
No
much
attention
better.
units left, and away
I
you go.
remember
It's
hitting
the irrational mind, right? We become irrational.
and I was
How do you deal with that, the irrational mind? Like when you know, between you and Ashley, like everybody has their day where you go from rational mind, where you're logical, all your experiences are available, you can draw down all your metaphors, you've got algorithms of thoughts and processes about how you deal with everything, and then all of a sudden you run out of I call it the attention units. You run out of these attention units and you've got zero processing power, and then you become irrational, emotional, and absolutely deniably deniably who you are. How do you deal with that?
Pre-decide in advance who you're going to be in those moments. So when you're doing good, say what I do this crazy thing. I literally just had to do this yesterday. I go look in my eyes in the mirror. It's called fathering yourself. That's what I call it. And this really works for me. Like I'm trying to teach myself not to cuss so much. So I don't think I've said the F word.
No, you haven't. You've done well. But we're doing the same. Ben and I are doing the same in Service Six Sigma. We don't use it so much, but we don't care if you do.
No,
but you're right. You're right. It's not necessary. Yeah.
So if I don't know, if I said something unprofessional to a customer because I was stressed out, just leaking out a weakness.
Yes.
Right? It's just sometimes some weakness will leak out.
And
you have to go and there's a hole in your boundary where the quality of your communication is the quality of your response. If you want to know how well if you're communicating, look at the response you're getting. If you're getting
you are transmitting, they are receiving, and they will transmit back based on the transmission you transmitted.
So I go look in my eyes in the mirror and I go, don't you ever do that ever. I don't care. Don't do that ever.
Yeah.
I know this is weird, but like I say, listen.
No, I do it too, Brian. I do it too.
Oh, you've done this?
Yes, I do this. Yep.
No matter what, you don't do this. You deal with it. If you have this issue, you can talk with this person, but don't go to and that's like, and you never be disrespectful to a customer ever again. At one time I was like, so you learn all these things the hard way and through pain and suffering. And when you're going through the pain because maybe you've made a mistake or somebody was upset or you've disrespected somebody or something, which I try almost never to do, but it's like biting off more than you can chew, right? It's this weird thing.
It's the straw that broke the camel's back, and you didn't realize you'd overloaded yourself, right? And then all of a sudden, there's no you left, and this character from inside you starts to go, I need to start cutting. Cut. I've got too much. Cut. You're a customer. You're right here. Cut. Okay, that's 2 attention units I've got now. Where's the line? Oh, the bed hasn't been changed for a week. Cut. But you tend to cut all these things off, which is not the right way to do it. But
no, I'm surrounded by some very wise men who I can counsel with, and I'm so blessed. And these men have and they're God-fearing men, and they teach me things about brother. So I could just talk for hours. Like, here's one little tiny example to tie it back to like business. When you have a business where I gotta be careful what I say and how I say it. I overheard a phone call within an earshot of somebody I know talking about something in their business, telling somebody something that they shouldn't have been talking about. Just dispersing information about their business finances that wasn't another person's business because that information could be weaponized against them.
Yes.
We're talking about like revenue and profits and loss. When you're an entrepreneur and you make revenue, people who aren't entrepreneurs, they don't understand how much investment you have online, how long, how they don't understand what's going on. So if they see you've made 300,000 this month or something like that, or 3 million this month, all they see is their eyes spinning.
Yes.
And they literally, until they've lost money and like so I overheard something. I said, oh my gosh, I very recently said something like that, talking about my business to somebody who it was none of their business to know about my revenue and profits and losses, because
Yeah.
I said, but I said it out of a moment of weakness because it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, don't you understand how much I've put into this thing?
Yeah.
So, and I had to go look in the mirror and say, don't do that, because
Yes.
so I know a man who is he's a client who's a billionaire, and he talks about the penalty of leadership. And he told me a story once about a Greek king who was so rich that a man came to the Greek king once. He says, Greek king, you're so rich. You have all the money and you have the power and you could just speak and things happen and you can make ships sail and you can have everything that you want. You have all the money and the power. And what is it like? Can I want to have the power that you have so badly. Please, I'll do anything. Like, I want to be in your, and the king said, okay, I will let you have all of my power and wealth and everything for an entire day. Anything you speak, you can have. You'll have all the money. You'll have all the, and you can sit in my chair too. And the man was like, okay. And the king said, but under one circumstance, the entire time we're going to dangle an Excalibur sword, razor sharp, over your head, only being suspended by a horse's hair. Right. And then the guy was like, he thought about that and he's like, no, I don't want that. So you look at these, what I'm saying is that you look at these guys that have these big businesses and all this responsibility, say, what would it be like to be Tommy Mello, the founder of A1 Garage Door, $250 million. He's always smiling. Like, I think Tommy is a phenomenal guy. And just because he's smiling, he's probably, I know for a fact, he's developed the character and been through the pitfall, all the pits, to be able to smile and deal with that type of responsibility. Because imagine if you had a $250 million business and you couldn't handle it and you walked into the office scared and shaking, sucking your thumb.
Right. Yeah.
What would everybody on your leadership team think? So it's like, we say we want the success, but are we willing to, the success that you want lies in the hard work that you're avoiding? Dude, I'm so obsessed with this stuff because I want success at levels way beyond where I'm at so badly that it's driven me to anguish, right? And so, because I know that I've had like we're going on about 400 consecutive Tuesday night date nights with my wife and I. Every Tuesday night, like clockwork, we do date night. Every Friday I wake up, I do Friday finances. I run Saturday errands. I have Sundays where I don't talk to anybody about business. And I don't upload. I don't make videos on social media on Sundays. Mondays we do the bookkeeping and the game planning stuff. But I was talking about the structure and stuff. And so I know that there's boundaries I can't violate. Like, I can't just not show up at
family. This is you want the success so bad, right? So you've put all these. Then you said, okay, these are the things I've put in place.
Yeah, but I know that the whole work 100 hours a week, that only has to work when you're getting the business off the ground, because you kind of have to do that.
Yes.
But in order to sustain long term and in order to grow, that what got you here won't get you there. So the levers that you pull of work hard, you only have control over 24 hours a day as a 1-to-1 ratio of a human. You have to get more knowledge, more wisdom, build a team, and change the role that you play in your business and do different things. So as I'm growing my own media business, we're putting structure and systems into it, and I'm obsessed. I'm so excited about my media business. What I'm learning is I feel lonely, like I'm going on a journey that I can't talk to about anybody else because I don't really know any. Joshua Latimer is probably like the only good friend I have that we talk to about this crazy stuff. Like, I'll sit on a Zoom call with this guy and he'll walk me through these crazy frameworks and systems. And like, so, man, I feel like I've gotten off track a little bit, but
no. So here's the thing that my way of processing this is to talk about what we have as an imagination, that tomorrow hasn't happened yet, right? So we're imagining the future, we're imagining success, and it's really important to measure and take responsibility that it's an imagination. right? Even if we say it's God's plan for us, right? We don't know what the journey actually looks like in the God's plan for us, because it may include failure in God's plan in order, because you have to go through chaos to get to a higher level. If you want to go from here to here, you must go through chaos. There's no straight line in success. Everything which works now, like the same as building a manufacturing company, all the things that work now, if our turnover went ×4 in production, right, we would have to disassemble all of these systems and processes and management systems and all that. We have to disassemble them all and rebuild the ones that work at that level. And that's one of the reasons why you may not want to go to 250 outlets, because you may not want to go through chaos all the time. Like every 2 or 3 years, the business is that much bigger, that the systems that you've built that were working perfectly are no longer working. They're now failing you because they're not built around this size, So then you're imagining this success. You experience some anguish towards the success. But the reality is that you're imagining it because tomorrow hasn't happened yet. The future is still an uncharted path, but we chart it in our minds. You're charting it, right? You're laying down a reverse crumbs of the Hansel and Gretel, or online, like a little crumb trail, right? That's the crumb trail of where I'm being. You're actually throwing crumbs out in front of you to walk towards. Right, so you're imagining, and then each crumb you're building out what it's going to look like and how it's going to feel, and all that. Then reality, as you go day by day, reality happens, and the reality either matches perfectly, and ideally it matches your imagination, but sometimes it doesn't. Reality happens that takes away some of that imagination, what you thought. And then we feel like a failure, but we shouldn't feel like a failure. Or we feel anguish, but we shouldn't feel anguish, right? Because we are just having we imagined it. So we can disassemble the imagination and reassemble it in the day that the imagination and the reality are not working. And then imagine again. You know what I mean? We're not bound, and we shouldn't bind ourselves to our imagination that it must be as I imagined, because it's only an imagination. I'll take a breath.
Bro, I've been meditating about an hour a day, and you're talking about something. Take your present moment. Now take everything into the past, all the way down to when you were born, and then in the womb and before you were born, and just none of that exists. So your entire rhetoric of your whole neuroscience is all operating off of like the past and projecting into the future, right? It's stable datums in your consciousness. It makes perfect sense. So I've been doing these recapitulation meditations going all the way back down before I was even conceived, sorry, and in the consciousness of my mother and father, and I was just in spirit form. And then I would replay my life all the way back to present moment, and I would get this tremendous amount of value. I wake up at 2 a.m. and lay in bed till 5 a.m. with my eyes closed still, just going through parts of my life. Like, why did I run away from home? Why did I quit that job? What happened when I was homeless, sleeping in my car? Oh, I could have went and slept on my aunt's or uncle's couch. I just had too much pride because I lost my apartment. It was a pride issue. I wasn't actually homeless. I could have slept somewhere. I had pride. Why did I? Oh, my mother died of a crack heroin overdose. And that's why I went off chasing a music career, trying to become famous, because I was running from my pain. And I thought if I could become somebody. And I started to examine my motives, and I realized that a lot of them came from insecurity and just wanting to feel loved and validated, and fear of unlove and abandonment. And I think about, like, wow, what type of those insecurities and abandonment issues have I brought into my marriage? And I'm just laying there thinking about this in bed next to my wife.
God,
she thinks I'm sleeping, and I lay there in gratitude, and then I think about how much I love my wife, and I think about how we've trauma bonded. Basically, we used to argue like all the time when
Mm-hmm.
we're
Mm-hmm.
younger, because we've been together for years. And like, what type of traumas did she have that
Yeah.
and I say, wow, how did I respond to that? And so sometimes when I think about these things and it makes me level up my whole consciousness, I can see somebody, like, say, another man who just started his landscape business, and he's like twitchy, he's all over the place, he can't make decisions, his feet aren't on the ground, and he's just
Yep.
like, and when I look, I say, man, I don't say this because he hadn't asked, so there's no point in
Mm-hmm.
dispensing information to
Agreed.
somebody who hasn't asked. It
Yep.
has to become generative to
Yep.
where they go,
Yep.
oh, it's like they have to have an
Mm-hmm.
epiphany bridge that makes the
Mm-hmm.
dots connect up here where they go, oh, because
Yep.
if they're into that, you're
Change
just
of state. Yeah. Change of state.
change of state.
Yep.
So I think the most powerful thing that that man can do for his entire life is not to go take online courses and read books and drug himself with social media and scrolling Instagram or
Mm-hmm.
trying
Mm-hmm.
harder. It's literally to just sit completely quiet in total meditation and let the globe with all the floatings and just let everything settle
Nice. Nice.
and just become more present. And
Yes.
through that presence, you know, I have a cousin who, his father died. Actually, his father got murdered, and his father was my friend
Oh God.
growing up. So this kid became, I had to mentor him because, anyways, it's a long story, but he would come to me asking me for advice, and I think he was like 18 years old. He's like, Keith, can I have some advice? I'm like, bro. So he comes over, and I say, you trust me? He's like, yeah. And let's do a meditation. And he was stuttering and everything. I said, and I'm no Tony Robbins, bro, but I'm obsessed with
Mm-hmm.
personal development and consciousness. And
Yep.
my question to my life coach was always, how do I fast forward my consciousness so I could become more mature
Mm-hmm.
faster?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And part of it's like, so I can get the results faster, so I can
Yeah.
finally be somebody, all that crap.
Yeah.
So
So do
I
you meditate with this young guy?
yeah. So we go into an alpha state. Breathe, hold it for 2 seconds. Exhale. Hold your finger up, focus on your finger, and with your peripheral vision, find 3 other points. So it's getting the amygdala to calm down and getting you into a complete
Wow.
state of awareness. And as we're breathing, it's like we could have been out in the jungle with war paint on our faces, ready to hunt a buffalo or something, or not, buffaloes aren't in the jungle. I'm sorry, like, but
I know what you mean, but
it was tribal. It didn't matter that what year we're in. We could have been 500 years ago because we were so present.
Yep.
And I looked him in his eyes. I said, "Shake my hand." He shook my hand. Now squeeze my hand. And look in my eyes like that. We looked in each other's eyes. We're squeezing each other's freaking hands like this in a complete alpha male masculine state.
Nice.
Just breathing. Like this. I watched this 18-year-old kid transform into a dude. I'm going to say it. I know I'm not going to say that where I'll say frickin'. I watched him transfer. He went from 18 to a 45-year-old alpha male warrior killer. Like, I'm talking like, not like a bad killer, but somebody who would
No.
defend
Yeah.
his tribe. He would fight off anybody. He would like this. I watched this rise out of this kid like a phoenix. And he was dead serious looking in my eyes. And by the time we were done meditating, he was like, he stopped stuttering. He leveled up. Now, I don't take any credit. The kid worked his ass off. He got a master's degree. He
Yeah.
flew from Michigan to Texas. He
Yep.
works at a
Yep.
big finance job now. He's going to get married. And he's actually he might actually get married. And I say, hey, man, if you found the right woman now and you do marry her, That's awesome, because now you're successful in the female department. You already got that locked down, bro. Now you can go become financially successful in your career. You don't even have to go like, and you don't even want to know what's out there, bro. It's not good news out there dating all these random women. You got this. You're lucky, bro. Like, I say good things because he calls me for advice and I never lie to him. But in that meditation, bro, I learned, because that's what I wish. You give what you have been denied. So if you're looking for your purpose, part of it is what have you been denied? If your own father didn't pay attention to you and he didn't look you in your eyes like you deserve, because then you can look other people in their eyes. You can be that mentor and the role model. I feel nervous talking about this right now because I'm growing into this position, because I have guys, young guys, 20, 21, 22 years old, reaching out. I'm 40 now, in social media, wanting advice, wanting real advice, and to not bullshit them. So I'm coming out saying, like, I'm the number one guy on YouTube about how to start a landscaping business. I'm coming out saying, dude, running a landscaping business is really hard. I'm not coming out here bullshitting you, telling you how it's going to be fun and easy. You're going to make all this money. Dude, you're going to go through a lot of heartache. You're going to grow an entire clientele. And when you realize that you were the cheapest guy in the block and you go to raise your prices, it's okay. My customers love me. You're going to find out they don't give a shit about you. They're going to fire you.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel an identity crisis, because you're going to feel like all these people lied to you. And then, so I think about all these things, and I sat down for dinner with my father. I took him out to eat on Father's Day. And for the first time in my entire life, I shook my father's hand and I looked in his eyes.
Wow.
And I said, I love you, Dad. Good man. Like, you did a good job.
This is a great exercise. Like, not a fake exercise, a great, genuine, authentic, from the heart, from the soul exercise, which I'm learning from you for this, because I'm going to do this with Ollie is Easy Harrison's. Because I've already mentored, Harrison. I raised him since he was 10. So, but there are elements in this which you can say, yes, this should be added to a man's life. This, what you're teaching now is, should be added. The ability to first, if I can suggest, from what you've said, and push it back at you, first learn to look at yourself in your eyes, right? Because without that, you won't be able to do it to another man or a boy, isn't it? Like, because in Chinese, like, their culture is like, they want to look into your eyes and see the seat, right? That and Chinese use crazy amounts of alcohol in business, but they want to get you so drunk. They want to get so drunk with you, right? But then when they look at you and you've lost control, they want to see, can you lose control, or are you a control freak? If you're a control freak, you're a control freak to hide something, right? If you can lose control, then okay. Now I want to look in your eyes and I want to see the seat. I want to see you're clean. All right, this is what the meaning is. Oh, you want to be transparent, or if you got little barriers up, So what happens when you start looking yourself in the mirror and being able to talk to yourself? If you can't do that, you're what you're seeing is a reflection of your barriers, your perception barriers that you've put up. You can't even look at yourself and see yourself, right? So then how can you look at another man genuinely in the eye and say, I love you, or, shake my hand, or, we're going to do this, whatever it is that is the meaning of the moment.
Hundreds of years ago, a father would probably, or if the father died, the uncle would have to look into his son's eyes, who might be 17, and be like, we have to go right now, and we have to pick up these muskets, and we have to go and defend our family right now, because they are coming here right now, and everything like that was very, very serious. And those are things that had to be done. So I think about that, and I think about leadership, and I think how important, and if you can work on your interior space, right, and work on your own issues and level up and become just a mature, conscious person, then you can, here's the big benefit. Now you can have discernment. of your bullshit from other people's bullshit.
Yeah.
You can say, wait a second, that's just my drama. Like, and you know
Yes.
not to, you're responsible for the energy you bring into other situations.
Yeah.
And then when somebody brings up their drama or whatever, instead of it triggering you, you can identify the triggers because you've, worked through them, and you can when that's just their stuff. That's their crap coming up
Yeah.
of stuff,
Yeah.
unresolved stuff that they haven't worked out yet. And so,
Yeah, that's it. And have empathy. Like AC Lockyer put a post up the other day about something about somebody, and I go, the person who criticizes you or something like that, and I said it's a time for sympathy, because that person who is perpetually negative and perpetually critical, right? It would suck to be them. So when you meet somebody that's firstly, cut them out of your life unless you want to be their rescuer, hero or counselor, but just cut them out of your life if you don't need them in your life. Customer, partner, family member. Like family members you can hold on to, because you can't, family's family, but you don't need very much time with them if they're going to be negative, right? Because our job, like if on a scale, this is what I'm working on at the moment, actually, to try and put a pitch together for it, because I've got this website called theonepagementor.com, and it's my 1 pages to my sons, right? It's got about 20, but I develop these, like this is one of the ones I'm developing right now, is that if the highest level of human vibration is euphoria, and it's part of this is stolen, right? But all of it's true. But I'm trying to get it into my way. So if the highest is euphoria and the lowest level is suicide, right? Suicidal, right? Of a vibration level, then the middle line is boring. Yeah. So now you've got this. So basically, anybody below boring is heading towards death. Anybody above boring, through curiosity and enthusiasm and action and all that, is heading towards euphoria. And you know that, right? And you know both those sides, right? Because you've been through, and that's a beautiful thing. So we've been down this like towards death path, and then we've been up towards and achieved euphoria. Euphoria is definitely more addictive, you hope, than the other one, and then when you meet anybody in boring and below, they start draining you, right? You start drawing, like, if that a pump, when the pressure in a pump, I've never said this before, this is a new thought. When there's back pressure against a pump, in order to pump its volume out, it draws more amps, right? And when we meet negative people and they're blocking us and restricting us and all that, we need to draw more amps in order to be us. So now we're draining our battery, and this normal, incredibly, whatever your character is, whatever you are normally, that's who you are. That starts to become diminished, doesn't it? And I wanted to lead into this on the personal brand. So maybe this is a great segue, Keith, to turn to you on this, because it's really, really one of the most important things, and Gary Vee covers it, is when you run a personal brand, you have to be prepared for some people to not like you. And that's that. And those are the people, if you try and make them like you, that's when you start draining your battery, and that's when you run out of at some point, it just leaves you.
Yeah, when some people don't
take it away.
Yeah. I think it was Gary Vee that you brought him up. He said something about
30% of people.
Sometimes a small element of truth in what they said if it was critical. So if you have the maturity enough to look at what they said and say, well, why did they say that? What percentage of that could there be some truth, and it's triggering an insecurity in me? And how do I feel about that? And so it's like, because if you just say, I believe if you just say, oh, screw them, I'm the best, you end up with a crappy product or a crappy service, or you'll just become an idiot on social media. And the weird thing is, most of the people who comment on your social media, if you regularly create content, they're most of the people who are taking the time to comment who like you. So if one person is saying something negative, there's probably about 10 times the amount of people, depending on how many views you get, who might actually think some stuff like that or say that, unless they're like just that 0.01% crazy. So what I found on my social media is most of the people who have criticized me in my comments, well, first they make me laugh, they're funny, and I like them, and they're actually cool people. That's just their way of, they're afraid to actually say, man, I really like your videos and I like you and I wish I had the courage to make videos like
Yeah.
you do. So instead I'm just going to criticize you, and they're really nice. And I appreciate them, and that tells me I'm doing a good job. Is they're at least coming in. I did a live stream, and a guy came in once, and he was talking crap. I'm like, bro, I can always look forward to you. And I actually love it, talking some shit in my comments, like, and he was
Right.
laughing because he knew that I was being it, like, it was funny. And then there's other people who that they're trying to get your attention and they want to be friends, but if you reject them, some people cannot handle rejection, and you didn't even mean to
Yes.
reject them.
Yes. Yes.
Now they're
Yes. Yes.
furious
Yes.
and they're attacking
Yes.
you because they feel
Yes.
rejected by you, because they open themselves up and they said,
Yes.
you know what, I really like this Perry Tate guy, and I want to reach out to him and direct message or talk to him about his product or get some advice. And if you didn't have time for him, and he maybe doesn't understand that you have,
Oh
50
God,
people
don't
a
I get
day
that?
reaching out to you,
Yeah. Or I'm in
now
the air flying somewhere, and I don't even have signal.
and then there's some people that are just trolls. So you have to like be wise enough to emotionally detach enough, but still stay in there to
Mm-hmm.
monitor. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have message filtering blocks of like I just, when I Google and I found like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, it's like a list of like 270 words, and I just copy it in there, and it's all the crazy stuff. So it just filters that and it puts it off to
Wow.
the side. So in case people say a bunch of crazy stuff in your comments, you're
Uh-huh.
like, what level
Uh-huh.
troll? And then also on social media, my Facebook was getting like, I think 4 million views a month just on my Facebook, and they had to put it in this like higher risk category, something. They said they contacted me directly because all types of people could just be messaging on my Facebook. So now I have higher filtering and everything. And so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, in my Facebook, literally all the time, block, spam, delete. I don't even have any emotion. Delete,
Yeah.
ban, block, 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 permanently block, delete,
Yeah.
block,
Yeah.
spam. I don't even
Exactly
care. I
that.
used to get, what the hell is this craziness? Why would this person
Right. You
block?
take it personally, and then you get hurt, and then you lose some battery power, and then you do that. And that's why Joe Rogan says he doesn't read any of the comments. Like he
Yeah.
just wants to be authentically himself, and he goes, everybody interviews, like, he goes, do you read the comments? Oh yeah. Like, I need to know what people are thinking, and he goes, no, you don't. You don't need. All you're trying to be is just be you. You don't need to read any of it.
Oh, sorry. I'm not just going and blocking it. I'm talking about like on the direct message. There's so much
Yeah.
spam
No,
coming
I
in with
know.
such
No,
crap
I know.
and
I know. Yeah.
people
Yeah.
pretending to be people they're not. And like but then like on the public comments, I don't care if people, because if somebody person like my friend Stan Genetic, the Dirt Monkey, he's awesome. He goes, all publicity is good publicity. So when people are talking shit in the comments, he loves it. He wants it there.
Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
happens is the people that like you will gang up and they'll start arguing in the comments. So you have
Yes.
one
Yes.
video with like 640 comments, and now that video is going.
Wow.
It's got 2, 3,
Wow.
400,000 views. So
Wow.
and another thing I learned is I went and looked at my eyes in the mirror with my social media, and I was like, listen, always be neutral or above. Don't ever be negative. Don't ever whine, criticize, condemn, or complain. If there's
Yeah.
drama going on, don't jump into the
Yeah.
drama. You stay in
Yeah.
your own jurisdiction on social media. Your job here is to be a role model. So
Yeah.
be positive, and don't ever come on and complain about something unless, like, if you've gone through something, wait till you fully have
Mm-hmm.
gone through that and you've
Mm-hmm.
learned and you've grown and grown out of it and grown past it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a learning lesson, and now it's wisdom. And now you can
Mm-hmm.
talk about that as a story and what you learned from it. But don't go on social media
Yes.
complaining about what you're currently going through, because that can open up a
Yes.
whole Pandora's box of people not respecting you anymore just
Yeah.
based off your energy. So, and the next thing is, nobody cares about you. You have a stage and you have a spotlight. You have 3 choices. You can put yourself on the stage and make everything about me, look at me, and I bought my new truck, and look at this, and me and my new equipment,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my
Mm-hmm.
dreams and my
Mm-hmm.
business and me. It's going to be very hard to grow your social media at all, because everything's always about you. Unless there's something extra special about you, and your status is like you're always happy and people want to be like you. But people that get it really wise and have discernment or really want to reach levels of success, they'll outgrow you quick. So number 2 is on the stage in the spotlight, you can put your product. If you make things about your product and the benefits of the product and what you can do, and you can grow a lot farther because you're not making it about you. You're branding and making product. So number 3 is you can make it all about your customer. Stories about customers and happy clients and client testimonial stories, and make everything about the experience and transformation and transcendence of going from Hell Island to Heaven Island, of where the customer is ultimately going to go. So if you have consistent messaging and your messaging ecosystem is down, and you have the directives of a clear understanding of what is the customer avatar and what are they like on the different levels on the customer journey of their criteria of when they're discovering and learning about that they have a problem, all the way to the point where maybe they're a repeat customer and now they're into high-end products. They're buying your most expensive things. You're going to have a different conversation with those different customers, and you want to segment the marketing, segment the emails, you want to segment the messaging, and then you want to have consistent colors, fonts, and branding. And you want your branding and your thumbnails and everything on your social media across all social media platforms. And no matter what you do, no matter where people go on social media, anywhere on the internet, on your website or anything, when they see your brand, they're automatically going to know just by the consistent colors, the consistent fonts, the consistent messaging. They're going to, that's Perry Tate. They're just going to know it's Perry Tate. So if you come out with some brand new thing, you still want it to have a resemblance of your original branding in it. So it's connected, but maybe it's new and improved and it's different, but it still looks the same. It has the same things. Just like Apple, you look at these logos, how they evolve it over time. It still has the same
the elements.
Elements, right? So my new book, this is the 24th.
Yeah, let's talk about your books, because that's and then I'm going to share a book with you no, just the name of one. Okay, let's go into the Keith Kelfas.
I don't even
manuals,
care about my
books.
You can I have these free guides that I've created. This has all my branding elements that I printed out. This is my smartphone video creation guide. You can grow you can market your business on social media. You don't need fancy cameras, you don't need a videographer, you don't need all that fancy stuff. You can do everything with your phone, and you can build and market your business and even grow your personal brand with my smartphone video creation guide. It teaches you how to define your message, and this is completely free. Anybody can download it at keithkelfas.com/smartphone. keithkelfas.com/smartphone. You can plan your video content, calls to action, optimize your smartphone settings, get the decent composition and framing, use natural lighting. So I walk you through it, and I have a bunch of these downloads, and this is how we build. This is our messaging ecosystem and how we collect emails and how we pull people into our podcast is by giving away these free tools. So
nice. Okay, and then your books, because the books are also critical. I mean, you've really started. Well, just so everybody knows, you started from nothing, right?
Started out of the back of the trunk of my wife's car with no money, debt collectors calling me, and I went on job sites with paper bags to put the trash in from trimming people's bushes. And my wife had no car, so I did that for a few weeks, and I took the money and I got a rusty old truck. And then I just literally kept reinvesting, and we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment for like several years while I was doing. It was a great experience. It was hell. Yeah,
it's really important, because like the people, I think that the people that have made it, that came from nothing, have a very relatable and believable story, because the anchor point is zero. That anybody who comes in with something above zero, maybe family helped, or they bought into a business, bought their boss's business, or whatever. Anybody comes in above zero, they can also hear from there up. But when we come from zero, so everybody can listen to us, because no matter where you are, even if you're in the back of a truck and you listen to this podcast, like, you got to know you and I both have started from zero, nothing, So that's good. So now the books. Tell me about the books, because the books are important, and
Well, my first book, I wanted to write a book. I heard about people that say, oh, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book for years. And nobody ever writes a book. And they always say, I'm going to write a book. And one day I'm going to write a book. I know people for 20 years have been saying they're going to write a book. So I was trying to write a book and I couldn't because it wasn't quiet in my house because my wife would be cooking or cleaning or on speakerphone or talking to her mom or her girlfriend. So I rented a little tiny office and I locked myself in the office and I wrote this book called How to Start a Landscaping Business Right Now with No Startup Money. It's on Amazon and Audible, so you can get the audiobook version as well. And I got that published. I started a publishing company called Green World Publishing. And then my second book was when I got the window cleaning business off the ground. I did a ton of research, and this is a real book. Like this, I'm telling you, if you're starting a business, this is really powerful. How to make $500 a day cleaning windows, and it's all the tools, tips, and technology of how to start and grow a window cleaning business from scratch and build it. The book, the premise of the book is that if you're trying to get your service business off the ground and you need money, you have to understand and change the lens in which you look at it through, that window cleaning primarily is a luxury service for residential homeowners. And instead of like trying to find people to let you clean their windows, you want to connect with clients who are upper middle class and upper class who already want their windows clean and they have tons of disposable income and they don't have any problem paying $500 or $1,000 or $1,500 or $3,500 to get their windows clean and their concrete pressure washed. This is a luxury service. So when you see it as a luxury service, you're like, wait, I'm in survival mode, scared, trying to get this business off the ground.
Right. Selling luxury. Yeah.
You're selling luxury services. So that's how you can, once you really get that, you can move out of desperation mode and move into high-end luxury mode and start getting these.
Yes. You change your vibration. And if you can't change you can't change who you really are. The fake it till you make it is not a very good, the what it looks like is fake it till you make it. What you're actually doing is creating a different avatar of yourself that is able to not be in awe of people that are at a higher level than you, either financially, emotionally, religiously or whatever. So you have to take your insecurities about who you are, be comfortable with that, because that's where you are, right? That's actually real life present today. Then you want to have another character that you use, which we have one which we use when we're public speaking. We're using one now. Like Harrison always says to people, like, what you see Perry on Service Six Sigma. I mean, that's not Perry all the time. Perry will roll in the sand with Ollie, or he'll just sit quietly and say nothing and listen. Well, you know what I mean. There's different. We have different characters, and us doing our books and paperwork and shit like that, right? That's a completely different character. I'm not Mr. Happy in that one, So, but there's a character for matching this high level customer, for the people that haven't quite got there yet, is it a fair call?
Absolutely. I love everything you're saying. Fake it till you make it is almost disingenuous because you're uncomfortable with this next level because you're reaching for it. And maybe you feel like you're reaching because you have anchors on your feet and you need to let go of the old identity that no longer serves you. You have to let go. Like if you're underwater holding on, let go and just float up here. You're just floating up to the next level, and it's not even up; it's just over here.
Yeah, and it's real. The thing about fake it till you make it, because the disingenuous word of the word fake makes it's confusing that you'll make it, but the reality is the make it is real. So it's not fake it; it's just use a different character of yourself. I
got a challenge for anybody listening right now that's dealing with fake it till they make it. What's the piece of equipment that you're avoiding buying right now because you think it costs too much? Or if you're afraid to invest in that brand new nice van with the sliding doors and everything and you want to get it all vinyl wrapped for your business? Or what is the thing that you're avoiding that costs real money that you're being a little crybaby and afraid? You're afraid. The only reason you're afraid to spend the money or invest the money is because you're afraid you won't make it. That's why.
Yeah, fair failure.
I want you to ask yourself this question. Do I believe in myself? When's the last time I took a bet on myself? When do I believe in my business and the future of my business? Why am I doing this? Oh, that's scary. Well, but do I believe in myself? So if you can get that courage up, like, what's the most expensive water fed pole system you have that's the best? That's very practical for day-to-day use.
Yeah, Warrior, just Warrior. It's not so expensive, like $1,200, and you can extend it, and you can spend 2,500,
And that's
3,000 on it,
water fed
but you
pole,
don't need to. Yeah.
with
Yep.
the whole system, with the filtration, EPI, and all that.
With we've got Flow Gold coming out, which will probably all up 5,995. $6,000 would be the maximum you can spend with us.
$6,000,
Maximum.
you get extra hose and reel, you get everything.
Yeah. Yes.
So they don't have to do
Six
it.
and
They
a
can
half.
reach around.
We don't.
Okay,
It's never going to be $10,000, and never be 10. Right?
Okay,
You can't spend
so
10 with us. Yeah.
when somebody who buys that thing from you, they get on the phone with your service, or they get on the website, and I'm buying it. As soon as that thing shows up and they get it all set up and they're on the first job or their employees are using it, and the employee Joe walks up to the boss and goes, "Dude, this new Warrior system is amazing. It's amazing." And you're gonna be like, it's already generating profit,
Yeah,
like,
it's there.
immediately.
Yeah.
And you're like, and so after like a couple, as soon as then your rational mind reinforces that you go, "Yeah, of course I bought that thing. Of course because I believe in my business." Right. And then next thing you know, it keeps going up. And then after a few weeks, you're like, "Dude, I can't believe I waited so long to buy that thing. What was I thinking?"
But we get that all the time. Like, so many guys bought other brands because they were cheaper or whatever, and they go, "Oh my God, like, I can't believe that I just spent 2 years, not using your stuff when I knew about it, but I bought that other one because the guy said this or whatever."
So with that being said, fake it till you make it. It's like you're afraid to level up and take a risk or on bet on yourself. Bet on yourself in your own business. So say, I want to get to a point where I can just swipe my credit card and buy the water fed pole system. And that's like an afterthought. I'm not even like, I want to become so successful that I can just go buy 2 of those for every van. Like, so what I mean is, like, you're already leveled up because you decided that you leveled up. It's a decision.
Yeah.
And then when you're confident and you make decisions based off courage and confidence, confidence is what does confidence mean? It's your belief in your own ability to figure things out. So when you have courage, which is a higher vibration than anger and fear, of course, courage, your customers can feel it. Your clients feel it when you talk on the phone. Your employees can feel it. People feel your courage and they like it. They're like, 3 people I got a quote from, but this company, they've something about them. They got courage. They got that. They believe in their business. I want to go with them. And you're going to attract the higher vibration people who have more disposable income, who also have courage, and they respect courage because they can see it. They identify it. But if you're in fear,
they got there probably with courage themselves to have the higher income, to have the whatever. So you're vibrating closer to their level when you do that, And people buy off people like them, And Keith, I think just to slide this in, America is currently getting very close to a $35 trillion debt, and the de-dollarization of global transactions is real. And so therefore, with inflation, de-dollarization, wars everywhere, there's a lot of stuff going on that our industry would need to be prosperous in our industry. You need these customers that you're referring to, that you need to get this mindset. You're delivering a luxury, and you need to find the people who can afford the luxury. If they don't owe any money on their house, it doesn't matter what happens to the interest rates. If they've got loads of money in the bank, it doesn't matter what happens with inflation. They are still, and if they've got a beautiful view and they own the house, they're going to want to see the view through those windows. So they're going to keep getting their windows cleaned no matter what happens. When there's 30% unemployment, there's 70% employment. Those 70% of people have got money. Or the high level.
Higher class people are the last that cut back on luxury spending.
Yes,
because they have
so those are
money
the chase
the
that
economy.
Business now.
Yeah, so it's like you just vibrate over there. I'm actually getting
your book. So I just want to say your window cleaning book helps people get that paradigm right.
Yeah, from the beginner's perspective, I don't want to overwhelm
Right,
anybody
right.
and start
Okay,
like
yeah.
say, "Oh, you can only take on houses that are $1,000
No, 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 no,
minimum."
no, no,
None
no,
of that
no.
stuff
No,
because it's
eat little fish while you chase big fish, you know?
yeah, yes, eat little fish while you chase big. That's why I called it "How to Make $500 a day cleaning." Because I could have easily
Yeah,
said
you could
how
have
to
said
make
1,500.
$1,500 a day cleaning
Yeah,
windows.
yeah,
Somebody even
yeah.
on I think it was like Reddit or somewhere, they're like, "Oh, this guy's shooting pretty low. Only $500 a day cleaning. I make."
Oh my God. Oh my
Like, I'm
God.
like, no, 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 no. This book isn't for you, bro. This is for the guy who's
Yeah,
he's living in a
yeah,
1-bedroom apartment and his fiance and they're about to have a baby and he's scared on the internet. He
yeah.
wants to
Good
go
on you.
achieve his independence. My third book
Where
that
do
I
we buy
wrote,
that book? Where do we buy those?
they're all on Amazon. You just look up Keith
Okay,
Kelfas. My third book
okay.
is called it's over there. It's called Your First Year in the Landscaping Business, and it's just a checkup from the neck up, like book that will just if you're having problems believing in yourself and you really want to get your landscape business rolling and you're scared, this book, so many people, I've gotten so many messages from guys all over the world driving to work in the morning. I mean, driving to the job site, or they got it on their phone and they're listening to the book while they're out landscaping. And
Nice,
like,
nice.
I'm not even going to get too deep into the book. It's a
Yeah,
powerful,
good on you.
transformative book.
No, 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 no.
And
That's
I
good.
just finished writing this. This is the 24th revision of this. I'm sorry, this one's the 22nd revision because we've added our brand elements in there. It's like a honeycomb
Uh-huh.
grid pattern. And
Nice.
so,
We
and
have a honeycomb grid pattern too, by the way.
I know it's nice. I see it right there. I did not copy you, sir.
No, no, no. We're only 6 weeks old. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we have a brand style guide. So we have only certain fonts that we use, only certain tones of colors that we use. We don't even use the color white. It's an off white, the specific tones of greens. Everything that we do is branded. And I already started my 5th book, and then plans. I the night before last night, I stayed up to 1 a.m. writing the entire outline for my 6th book, and now we're getting that fleshed out and working.
Nice.
So yeah.
You are cracking along. Hey Keith, if we wanted to have you back, would you come back?
Well, yeah, it's phenomenal.
We haven't finished. We haven't finished, have we? I just think there's so many open loops. I wanted to mention this book because one of the moments where you said you're still dealing with something. There's a fantastic book called King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. King, Warrior, Magician, Lover.
I'm looking it up right now, bro. I ain't even playing.
Yeah, it's wonderful as a father. It's really important to read when you're a father, but it's more wonderful what it does for you as you read it. Because if you can be introspective, because basically it's talking about what happens from the boy to man experience and the different characteristics of manhood from a Jungian perspective. And yep, there it is.
Listening.
And there's elements in there that'll definitely you'll take into your. I'm sure it will end up in your, evolved material on how to explain certain things. In the transitions, because all of success is about successfully transitioning. The people who are scared to transition remain mediocre. Yeah, you've got to be able to face failure in order to succeed, and you have to be prepared to transition and become a different person in order to be a different person. And if you're going to succeed, you will be a different person. You will not be the same person.
A few years ago, my hair, I went through a lot of stress in my mid-30s.
Well, that's what we spoke, wasn't it? You were just really working hard.
So my hair started going gray, which I guess is normal, your hair to go gray. And then my hair really started going gray around 38. And it all filled in my beard. And I got really, really insecure about it because I was like, no, I'm not ready for this. I still have it's okay that if my hair goes gray, if I'm making millions of dollars and I'm a best-selling author and I've already achieved all the success and I've traveled the world and I've but I haven't done that yet. Now it's going to mess up my perception on Like I had this thing in my head. I'm
Right.
justifying it, but I literally took out hair dye and I started dyeing my hair brown because I was like, I saw some other social media guy do it whose
Yeah.
hair went gray, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, I should do that. And then
Yeah.
and my wife's like, "Are you dyeing your hair?" I was like, "Well, I'm insecure because like." She goes, "I love your gray hair." I go, "What?" She goes, "Oh, are you kidding me?" I go, "Wait. You like my gray?" She goes, "You're a silver fox."
Yeah, baby.
I say, "Wait a second." She goes, "It's hot." Bro, I threw the hair dye in the garbage, bro. I'm like, I love my gray hair, and I noticed that I feel I've embraced it, and I wouldn't change it, bro. I feel like
No.
I'm the dude now.
And did when you got less stressed, did it get less gray?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Because mine did, right? But now I'm over 60 years old, so now you can, like, I don't know. There are some peptides for hair that they say can, change this. You can take some peptides, but certainly I know that at certain chapters I was measuring how stressed I was with how gray I was, and when I de-stressed myself, I would be less gray. All from late 30s through to mid 50s.
I want to say that
it was one of
agree
my
with you.
little mirror barometers. No, I don't. It was just my personal experience,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
great that you created that distinction. And I have thought about that. I
Yeah.
said, wait a second, because I can go back and look at videos of myself from 2017 when I was the most stressed, and I looked maybe 7-8 years older than I do right now. I looked
Right.
15 years older than I was in 2017.
Yes.
And I look at me
Yes.
right now,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
I look 5 years younger than I was in. Well, I'm not
Yes.
saying that I look, but what I'm saying is like, what I mean is like, if you read I've read 477 books, and I'm obsessed with personal development.
Love it.
Most of them
Yeah.
are audible.com. This Masaru Emoto wrote a book called The Power of Water. So when they take water and they freeze it between glass and they pray, you could say to
Yeah.
water, I love you, you're amazing, you're beautiful, and the water will freeze into perfect Fibonacci sequenced snowflakes when it freezes that look like beautiful, like self-fragile frequencies, frequencies of love, 432 hertz, 528 hertz, the Schumann cavity resonance, all these different things of like, I've read like Power versus Force by David R. Hawkins they've measured the calibration of shame and fear and anger all the way up into like peace and love, and when you can speak. So your body is like 90% water. So the thoughts and feelings and whatever you go through and whatever type of music you listen to, whatever you expose yourself to, changes the frequency in the molecules on an energetic level. Because Dr. He was one of the astronauts. What was his name? He accepted the Nobel Peace Prize in the late 70s, and he said, I can't think of his name because I'm confusing with Dr. Viktor Frankl. Man's Search for Meaning. But he said in my books, in my life study of the smallest particle known to man, the atom, which we thought was matter, I've learned that when you get to subatomic particles, there's no matter as such. All matter is merely sound condensed to a slow vibration. So in the beginning of Genesis, God spoke, let there be light,
Yes.
these things. So we're vibrating sound. So everything that you're speaking, if you say, oh, I'm so stupid, like if you don't do that. Like,
right. No, never do that.
So your
Just
body
I need
actually
to learn.
it physically manifests and represents what's going on
Goodness me.
inside. So when you're going through hell, this is a weird example. Have you ever seen that crazy viral clip of Tom Cruise on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and he jumps up on the couch?
Yes.
He's like,
yes.
love. And people are like, this guy's nuts. I'm not qualified to know whether he's nuts or not. But this craziest thing happened. Remember I told you where in the beginning of this podcast where I stuck with my life's passions and goals, and I didn't just grow a business so I could make money. I stuck with, and it's really blossomed for me. I've built a fully automated media business. I have 17 virtual assistants. I have 2 podcast producers. I have 2 videographers. I have 3 editors. I have a blog article writer. I have an executive assistant.
Wow.
Everything is automated. So I make one video and it goes through an entire marketing funnel. It gets posted all over social media. I have a Facebook ads guy, a YouTube ads guy. We're building funnels, and I'm mainly just the visionary. And all I do is talk and communicate, and it gets recorded and transcribed through AI, and we do the show notes. And then I have a consultant that I work with, and so we do the Friday Pulse meetings. And so
Wow.
I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but it's a fully automated media business that my job is to be the communicator and to be the visionary, not to do all the work. So I'm not sitting around editing videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I've had to learn and adopt different roles, but I've had to upgrade my identity to learn how to do this. In order to make money, I must do this. Or
Yes.
so back to what I was saying. With all that being said, I went on this high where I really started taking bets on myself, and brand deals started coming in. I got sponsored by Lowe's Home Improvement, and I got sponsored. We work with 21 different brands now. So I have brands asking me all the time if they can give me money just to mention them in my videos. And so we have 21 different streams of income coming in. And so it's, excuse me, I've had to learn how to deal with it, and we're actually minimizing it down now so I can streamline it. But I've been so excited watching my dreams come true, and watching. I've been a keynote speaker all over the country. I've spoken on stages all over the country. I've been flown all over the place, and so I've literally watched my dreams come true. And at the pinnacle of me getting to do this, I felt so excited and so happy that I've literally like stood up on the couch going, "Ah!" like. I'm acting weird as hell right now. In front of people in conferences, I'll stand up on a chair and I'm jumping, and we're like, this fucking. Oh, I said.
He did it.
This dude's
you
crazy.
made it all the way to the end.
And so I've been so excited and so happy that I'll be at a live conference and I'm running around and doing push-ups and I'm having fun, and I will ask my other friends after the conference, they're like, bro, was I too crazy? I'm like a grown-ass man, and I'm running around. And they're like, no, dude, you have high energy. We love being around you.
High energy. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Yeah.
And so,
hey, we have to pull up because we're over time. And but to be continued, right? If we just put ... then we'll invite Keith back. And there's so much. I really appreciate it because it is the giving back, and it is for free, from everybody. So when you give, content that helps people, and it is actually also how you make your money, then we always appreciate it even more, But it would be fantastic to have you back, and dig deep on the soul level and the journey.
Thank you. One last thing, if you want to identify your superpower, we call it, and develop.
Oh, look at that!
Find your unique strengths. And,
so the unique genius comes out again.
This is how you build your personal brand online and identify your superpower. Go to keithkelfas.com/superpower, and you can get this free guide. It'll teach you how to target your audience, how to communicate with them. Now you can grow your own brand on social media.
Ollie was talking to me about superpowers this morning, right? Before he went to school. He's 12. He's already going, do you know what this person's superpower is? It's like, that's I'm going to download all of that. I'll tell you what, Keith, what we did also with, who was it? Kevin Dabrowski. We said, Ben and I will buy your books, and only the window cleaning one, I will. And then when we have you back, we'll have read your book, and we'll be able to talk with good content, and we'll read these freebies, so that we roll forward.
Thank
I
you
really
so
like
much
it
for
a lot.
having me on your show. Thanks, Perry, and thanks, Ben.
And appreciate Ashley for giving us an hour and a half of your life, right? Please, I know it's your night time. It's her time, probably. Yeah,
she's laying on the couch with the dogs in the house watching. I don't know what she's watching. She likes to watch documentaries about Egypt and aliens and stuff, and I'll join her and watch it. So, anyways,
right, you bring it to Thailand, right? Bring it to Thailand one day. Yeah.
I do want to travel overseas and travel and check out China and Europe and everything.
Yeah. But when you want to chill, I'm living in Thailand now, so when you want to chill, come over here and just relax in the sun. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I will hit you up when
I'll look after you. I'll look after you, bro. For sure.
Thank you. And check out my podcast, The Untrapped Podcast. We just crossed 700,000 downloads on Apple and Spotify. So check out The Untrapped Podcast. Okay.
The Untrapped Podcast.
Yep.
Woohoo. Okay. I love it. Thank you, Keith.
Later.
Proud of you, man.
All right. Okay. See you later.
Yeah. Cheers. There he is.
Well, that was great.
That
was a great show. All right. We will see you guys on the next show. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining our live stream today and being part of our Service Six Sigma community and part of our live stream today. If there are any guests that you think that would be great for our live stream, please send them our way. We are looking for all sorts of business owners and guest speakers for our podcast. Thirdly, if there are any chance that you could please share this podcast to your Facebook, reshare it, and to any other business owners and entrepreneurs that are in our industry. We really want to share this podcast to as many people as we can in this industry. We want to thank you again for joining our live stream today, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.